Okay, Isaac, you're coming to the end of the first leg of the European tour. You've got tonight in London and then tomorrow night in the Netherlands.
That's right.
Convenient place to end the tour.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And then you've got an Indian festival in 28th of December.
Yeah.
Is that going to be the band's first show in India?
That's correct, yeah.
Nervous? Excited?
Excited. Not really nervous. We've done this before, but yeah, I think it's going to be a great opportunity. Like first time there, and it seems like a really cool festival to play at. So I heard there's lots of people going to be there, and that's like organized for students. So lots of young people and stuff like that. So looking forward to it. Yeah.
So while everyone's enjoying the snow and ice in the Netherlands, you're going to go and enjoy hot, sticky temperatures.
Exactly. That's a better plan, isn't it?
Yeah. So you planned this one well.
Yeah.
Obviously. And obviously you're on tour at the moment with Dragon Force.
Yeah.
How's the touring going with the guys?
Really good, really good. They're really nice people, and today is like a home match for them, so to speak. So yeah, it's really cool. I think the package is really great with it. Except for the last two shows now, we also play with Dagobah from France, which is more like a kind of hardcore-ish, like more heavy stuff. They're a 4-piece band, and I think it was a great package. People in Europe tend to be like only, let's say, symphonic metal fans or only death metal fans, and this time we tried to switch things around and not like always bring only female fronted bands. So I think it was a good choice this time. We had really a lot of people showing up at the shows, good energy, like they were really warmed up well before we hit the stage, so that was perfect.
That's good, because sometimes it can work quite badly in that.
Yeah.
I saw a co-headline tour recently where a third of the audience walked out after the first band.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's terrible.
That's not good.
No, it's not good, but for some reason, yeah, the fans are kind of, there's an overlap between the two fan bases, and that's really cool. And yeah, like I said, the guys themselves, they're really great to work with and very down to earth, normal people, so that's good.
And obviously, at the beginning of the tour, you had the album release show in Tilburg, and you played the entire album.
Yeah.
How much of the new album are you playing on the rest of this tour?
Well, not the whole album, because we also have like the golden oldies to play. But there's a fair amount of new songs we're playing. Actually, I'm not really sure how much, but I think at least 5, 6 or something like that. Yeah, and part of that is obviously we're promoting the new album, so we kind of have to play new stuff. But the other thing is also that that the new songs, for some reason, are very good live songs. They have just a great groove, great vibe, stuff like that. So part of the reason for that is also because before entering the studio, we already rehearsed these songs together, whereas in the past we would just like write them, do pre-production in our home studios, and then go straight into the studio. And this time we actually, before recording, we just went like sat together and just worked on the details and make sure that first we have a good like drum, guitar, bass, good basses, like a good metal band, and then add all the orchestration to that, and then that seems to work really well live, because in the past you could have a great song on the album, but if you play it live it's kind of boring. Or the other way around, you think on the album, I don't know, but if you play it live it's got a great energy. So I think we're lucky with this new album. It's really also for live shows it's a big step up, I think.
Is that changing in approach down to the new producer you have?
Yeah, but also we had a whole kind of vibe with the new album. Like we did retrospect, right? So we kind of used that show to look back on a decade of Epica, and then finishing the whole cycle, so to speak, with the DVD. And then the new album is kind of a new start, a fresh start. We had always the same producer, always same studio and stuff like that. So now we thought maybe it's good for a band to, like, after 10 years, just look forward to new horizons, so to speak. And so we switched the studio because it was basically not that far away for us. It was closer in Holland, so that was easier. made us feel a little more at home, if you want, because the studio can be a very lonely environment and boring if you're all the time inside and stuff. So that was a good change. And then obviously with that came a new producer. We also worked with a different guy who mixed the album. So yeah, lots of new input, so to speak, and combined that with the fact that we kind of changed the whole process of writing the album, and then you have the new album, which is, I think, again, like I said, a step up. I think it's just a more modern Epica.
Okay, and you've already got a busy first half of next year planned in with lots of tours. You've got the second leg of the European tour, you've got South America, you've got Russia,
Scandinavia,
and then you've already got a couple of festivals announced. Are there more festivals to be announced?
Sure, yeah, but because we're still playing the shows at these countries, we can't announce them until after we played the show. And also we have a US tour coming up. We will do another European run after the festival season next year. So basically whole 2015 is already pretty much booked and or about to be booked. And so yeah, it's gonna be a busy year. And then after that we're gonna go back writing the new album, I guess.
Right. Have you ever thought about using Mayan as a support band?
We thought about it, like already in the beginning when I was still in Mayan, because now I quit last year. But the thing was that, you know, it seems like a really great idea because you basically have a lot of common members, but then on the other hand, it's maybe taking away a little of the magic of, like, if you go as a headliner on stage, you already saw them in the opening act. So then we thought it's maybe not, you know, for fans it might be cool, but then again it's not, you know. So we wanted to keep the atmosphere of a headline show intact and just focus on Epica. And then because Mayan is actually started by Mark just as a sort of project next to Epica, and turned out to ask all the Epica members to join, which we gladly did, of course. But then, you know, it's not like the focus is still on Epica. So and that's what we wanted to maintain. And yeah, so it might happen though, but at this point we thought it wasn't the best idea ever. Also, you want to be fresh on stage as a headliner, so, and if you already were running around for an hour banging your head, and then you have to go for another 2 hours, maybe that's a little too much. So.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Can't have it all.
Yeah, well, you certainly couldn't have had them supporting Retrospect, and that was, 3 hours or so?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
How different was it performing with an orchestra, a live orchestra on stage?
Well, it was different in a way that there's 100 people on stage, you know, which we're not used to. But they were in the back, so we still had the space we need or want during a show. So that was not that much different. Obviously, the whole, you know, now we have like 1 hour of sound checks in a normal show, and for that one we had 1 week. So that's different. But yeah, it was actually really cool to also hear and see the end result, because we're always at the other side, you know, we never get to see ourselves. And then you can watch the DVD and see how it actually sounds with, you know, we compose it like intended to be an orchestra and a choir, but, you know, it's a lot of sampling often. So, but this time we could actually see and hear how it's meant to be, and that was a great thing, I think. Right. Also what we did, the Presto song from Vivaldi, I think that's really cool to combine the classical stuff and then the metal.
Worked really well. Yeah. And it was a fantastic atmosphere to be there.
You were there?
Yeah. Awesome. Are you ever surprised by how far people go for some of these special shows?
There were people from over 50 countries, and it's crazy because we were touring months before. We were touring in South America, and there was every day people with their ticket coming like, "Can you sign a ticket?" And like, I'm at the other side of the world, and these guys are just, they bought a ticket, they bought, you know, they take a plane just to see us, and they hang around in Holland, and they don't know what the plan is, but they just go there for us, and yeah, it's amazing that people do these things just because you play this kind of music.
Yeah, and for me coming from the UK, it's quite easy. You can get to Holland in a couple of hours.
Exactly,
it's really easy.
But still,
so I came over for the album launch and then saw the acoustic install thing the next day. So from a big venue to a tiny store with 30 people.
How did you like the acoustic stuff?
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it?
But it's Storm sorry that you did this the swing version.
Yeah.
It was just brilliant. Just totally different.
Well, the reason for that is because Simone and I were going to America for interviews and stuff like that for the new album, and then so the keyboard player wasn't coming with us. Usually he's doing like a lot of fill up for the acoustic stuff, but it was only vocals and guitar, so we had to come up with something, and then I thought that would be a great idea to do it like that. Yeah.